Hello, wonderful women in product. I hope that you're having an amazing week. I'm super excited today to share with you a very passionate topic of mine, the 5 guiding principles to ace your performance review as a product manager. As a product manager myself, I always think of managing my career as a product. So I will be using many product management analogies throughout the presentation. Now, a little bit about myself. I have held senior leadership and executive level roles at mid-size, large-size, and very large-size companies, and I have managed and done performance reviews for over 200 people. I'm confident today that you will walk away with today's presentations with very useful tips and get the raise and promotion that you deserve. Today, I will demystify how performance reviews work at the mid to large size companies, how upper management decide on your raise and who gets promoted. Then I will share with you the 5 principles on how you can ace your review, stand out in front of the performance, the review committee, and get higher chances for promotions and salary increases. Finally, you will learn that the same strategies can be applied throughout your career to accelerate your career path. So let's get started. First of all, how do performance reviews work at mid to large size companies? If you put yourself in the shoes of HR and upper management, performance reviews can be very complicated. They have to be fair and they have to adhere to a specific budget. So at the beginning of every review cycle, your manager is going to be giving you a rating using a rubric given by your HRBP. You think your days of being graded are over after you graduated from high school and college. Well, unfortunately, it is not over. And the main difference is that it was a lot clearer when you were back in school how you get the credits to get the grades that you want. So it is not super clear in terms of how the managers are going to rate you. And now I will share with you tips in terms of how to find that out. Then your manager is going to fit you into a curve, right? This curve is going to differ from company to company and it's going to vary from year to year. So, for instance, during a down year, the upper management will probably ask for a higher percentage of the people being rated at the bottom and lower percentage rated at the higher performance tier. As a way to reduce the increase in salary costs as part of their budget goals, and also to weed out the lower performance throughout the review cycle. So this curve is real. And this curve, every year somebody is going to be put at the bottom and some people are going to put at the top. Now, after your manager fits his or her team into this curve, then there is going to be a calibration of this curve at each of the manager levels. So starts with the director level, then senior director level, then VP level, SVP, and then so on. So let's say that your manager provided less people on the lower tier and they provided more people at the higher tier in terms of ratings of her team. When she goes to this calibration level calibration at the higher level, at the senior director level, it's very likely that the senior director is going to ask your manager to recalibrate her team so that it will fit everyone will fit into the curve. And then this process is going to repeat at every level until it reaches the CEO. So as you can see, that your manager has some control over who gets higher ratings and who gets lower ratings. And even if your manager wants to put everyone in her team at the higher tier, higher ratings tier, very likely this is going to be kind of recalibrated at the higher tiers. Remember, the upper management needs to make sure that the salary increase fits at a particular budget. And that's why they continue to fit people in this curve. So then, let's talk about in terms of how much raise you're going to get. This is going to be tied to your rating and which position you are on the curve. So here's an example of the budget at the curve. The bottom rung employees usually will get no raises and will likely be presented with a performance improvement plan or PIP. The middle tier employees will basically get a courtesy of a cost of living adjustment of 3 to 5%. Well, hopefully more now that the inflation is a little bit higher in the past couple years. But normally it's going to be in the 3 to 5%. And the people that are on the higher tier are the ones that are going to get a larger percentage in terms of raise. Now, again, this is just an example. Every company will differ, and every company is going to have a different curve guideline. But this is usually how it works. So now that you know how performance reviews work, we're going to go into the 5 principles on how you can ace your performance reviews so you can come up at the top of the tier and get a higher raise and be put up for promotion. This is where I'll be using a lot of product management analogies. All right. So guiding principle number 1 is to know your customers. As a good product manager, you need to know your customers. So in performance reviews, you are the product and your customers are going to be your manager, your upper management, and HR. They will be rating you based on the quality of the product, which is you. Okay, remember that. So how do you know? You need to know your customers well. What exactly are they going to be rating you for? Right? What is the criteria? What qualities are they looking for? What is important to them? Right? Who is going to be at the calibration meeting as well? Who is your customer? And you need to understand what is important to them. Now, there's usually a criteria that HR has for your job function and job level. So, for instance, an associate product manager has a leveling criteria that HR has defined and is different from a director of product, which has a different criteria. You need to know what that criteria is for your company. You can ask your manager for this leveling criteria. If your manager doesn't know, because maybe he or she is new to the company or new to the role, you can ask HR directly. Or you can ask more tenured managers in the company for this document called the leveling criteria. In addition to the leveling criteria, usually HR or upper management would rate you based on the results that you have driven and make sure they are aligned to your business unit's KPIs, and also the values that you have exhibited as an employee, as a team member. And those values have to be mapped to your business unit's value and also the company's value. And all this should be found in the company's kind of manifesto, or maybe your business unit. They will publish what are the values and principles that they care about. So then you would need to know this extremely well. This is basically what your customers are looking for. Next is basically guiding principle number 2. Now that you know your target customer's needs, you need to deliver product market fit. What this means is that you have to map your strengths and your skills and your value add as a product manager and demonstrate that you fit what your customers need. You're delivering what they need. You're solving their problems. And in addition to that, once you find this out, you may realize that, hey, I may need more skills. I may need to gain more skills, or I may need to change my behavior or how I operate in order to fit my customers' needs. For example, if your manager values storytelling as a PM, you will need to, and you know that he or she will be biased towards the storytelling skill when they evaluate you. You will need to gain that skill and demonstrate it visibly and well to your manager. Another manager might care more about KPIs and spreadsheet work, and therefore you then have to demonstrate that you're really good at spreadsheets, really good at tracking KPIs and presenting KPI lifts and analyzing how you can lift those KPIs. So you get the idea. You have to understand what they care about, what upper management cares about, and then adjust your behavior and adjust your output to meet their needs. Guiding principle number 3. Now that you know your target audience, You know that you can prove your product market fit with who you are, with your skills and the work that you do. You will have to package and market your product to make people know about you. This means that you have to have a marketing plan. So, first of all, list out what your customers want, what you want your customers to remember you by. Then you want to find out what are the internal marketing channels that you can use to promote yourself and market yourself and your deliverables. Once you know what marketing channels there are, you then can create a marketing calendar. The marketing calendar could be things like, maybe every month, you want to do a roadmap review. Every quarter, maybe you want to do a brown bag on a topic that you are an expert on, or do a product launch analysis presentation to different people that are going to influence your career in your organization. Sometimes maybe you want to write email announcements that showcase that your product KPIs are improving, and what kind of value this is generating for your company's business. You may also want to time the big impactful announcements and presentations right before the review cycle so that it's very fresh in management's minds. Now, sometimes you may say that, hey, Linda, there aren't that many marketing channels for me to promote myself. Well, you can go and make one. You can create your own marketing channel. An example that I did many years ago was that I will print out my roadmap and then post them on the walls inside of my offices. Or I can create my own brown bag sessions and invite people to come and learn more about my product, or learn more about the different topics, relevant topics of the business and the product, such as competitive analysis and whatnot. All right. The next guiding principle is, let's not forget about the influencers. You want to find out who the influencers are and influence them as well. This one is probably not as obvious to everyone, but is very impactful if you do it right. So, first of all, find out who's the decision maker and who does the decision maker listen to. And sometimes it may not be your manager. Who else is going to be at the table during the review sessions, during the calibration sessions? And this includes HRBP. This includes your HR business partner. Make sure these influencers know who you are. And also, you want to make sure that you have done things to help them in the past. You want to score brownie points with these influencers. So, for example, let's say that the VP of marketing is going to be at the calibration table along with your manager, the VP of product. You want to make sure that you have built a good relationship with the VP of marketing ahead of time, and you have delivered to her or to her team in terms of what they needed, such as you kept marketing up to date with your product details and KPIs, so you helped her team to be successful. Or you are constantly giving the marketing team the credit for the success of your product, so they feel that you're a very good partner as a product manager. When you do this, when you're meeting their needs and solving their problems for them, making their jobs more successful, they're going to remember you, and they're going to be more willing to support your case during the calibration. Let me give you an example. If you don't do this, what's going to happen? Your manager, wants to promote you, and comes to the calibration session at the SVP level and says, Linda is a top performer, and therefore she deserves to be in this, higher tier on the curve. What if the VP of marketing says that, no, Linda is a terrible product manager. She's never collaborating with my team and whatnot. She's not very kind of proactive about sharing the product roadmap and the product KPIs, and therefore we don't think Linda should be at the top of the calibration curve. When that happens, when there's a person that kind of goes against what your manager is trying to promote, immediately the SVP is basically just gonna push down your rating. And so you want to go into these calibrations where there's more than a VP, more than one person that is going to be supporting your case. And this is going to make your manager's job a lot easier to get you rated higher. All right. Okay. So the last guiding principle here is that your manager is going to be your biggest advocate. Let's face it. Um, they're going to be the ones that is going to decide at the beginning where to put you on the curve. They're going to be the ones that go into the calibration sessions and vouch for you. So your manager has a big team that he or she needs to take care of. How do they decide who goes at the top? It's going to be the people that they cannot afford to lose in terms of whether you quitting because you're not happy with your ratings and your raises and your salaries and whatnot. So you want to make yourself indispensable to them. You want to be there to solve their problems for them. Remember, they're there to get promoted too, right? So you have to make them look good at any given point in time, and they will repay the favors to you. Also, help them help you. Be proactive. Prepare all the materials to talk to your manager way before the review process starts. Maybe give them a cheat sheet about who you are, what results you have driven, what kind of KPIs that you have delivered for the business, what company values you have exhibited. And then they will be very well equipped to go and vouch for you in front of the SVP or the CEO and whatnot. This cheat sheet should also include who are the influencers that are going to support your case when he brings it up, because he doesn't want he or she, they don't want to be embarrassed by bringing up someone as a top performer when this may be shut down by another person on the calibration table. So yeah, there you have it, the 5 guiding principles to ace your performance review. I want to kind of end this presentation with some bonus tips. You should employ all these strategies throughout the year, not just before the annual review cycle. You want to start early, prepare your marketing plan, and then have this series of marketing bold beats throughout the years. You may want to create a roadmap of your deliverables, and then keep a journal that then eventually turns into an annual review document. New people managers can use these strategies to help your team members, right? Remember, if you have high performers in your team, they are basically feathers on your hat, and it's going to help you grow your career as well. Then lastly, map all these strategies beyond the performance reviews so that you can apply them throughout the rest of your career and hopefully be on a faster career path. All right, my fellow women in product, I hope this was super useful to you, and I'm sure you will ace your next performance review. Please connect with me via LinkedIn. I'd love to hear from you in terms of the results by the end of the year, whether you got higher ratings, higher raise, and maybe you got put in line for a promotion after applying these principles. Please join me for an interactive Q&A session shortly, and I look forward to engaging with you.